Hello, everyone, and welcome to Osquery Office Hours, Tuesday, February 11th. I guess I'm filling in for Chef on running the office hours. So, welcome, y'all. Thanks for joining. And I'm going to jump into the agenda. I don't see anything in the announcements and highlights section. Does anyone have something that's not in that part of or that's not in the agenda that you'd like to bring up at this point?
That's this weekend. I saw that 5.16 was published. Is that an announcement?
Yeah, I see that Seth added that to the agenda lower down, and
Oh, I see.
so I wasn't aware of that either until I actually just looked at the agenda. Seth says he cut 516 with the intention to get this fix to the denialist watchdog behavior out. So now that I'm aware, I think we will push the 516 beta out to our Edge channel at Fleet and start testing that. Anyone else have comments, thoughts on 516? Okay, presumably, hopefully Collide will also be pushing that out to their beta channel. It sounds like that this must be an important fix for them, so I'm gonna assume that they probably are testing that. But yeah, I'm gonna make myself a note to get our team moving on that.
Maybe I can spend a couple of words on that fix. I mean, I briefly looked at the issue, and so the issue is that Osquery denialists any query that was left running, and okay, let's say like this, that was left running before it was restarted. And to go a step back, again, Osquery, when it runs a query, saves the name of the queries on the database. So if you, for instance, brutally kill Osquery, it will remember which query was running, and it would always denialist that query when it was starting. This behavior, I see, it makes sense. It was not necessarily not great, especially when users did not enable the watchdog, basically. So right now what they changed is that when the watchdog is not enabled, Osquery will not denialist the query that was, if any, the query that was running previously.
And that change totally made sense to me. Do you have some concerns with that, Stefano?
There is, I had, but I don't know for a better answer. I think this is fine anyway. So the only thing I could say is that, well, there is the case where there is a bug, and so that's an edge case already. We are talking about a bug where, sure, you don't want the watchdog, but you still have a query that is triggering a crash and causing potential crash loop. But you could also have a crash in the core itself, and that is not covered by the denialisting. So, I mean, I think overall probably it's better. So the most common thing is not expecting that our query is denialisted when you don't want the watchdog. And
Yeah.
that edge case I talked about is really remote, and anyway something that we have to fix.
I hear you on the edge case.
But yeah.
Yeah, I definitely hear you on the edge case there. I don't think that was the intention of deny listing. I think it was intended to be for like the watchdog performance issues. So it does make sense to me. It sounds like you're also agreeing that that you're okay with the change.
Yeah, sorry, I should have finished the first. Yes, in the end, I am agreeing. Yeah, it's a side effect, basically. It's just that once in a blue moon, it can help if you have issues connected to a query, but yeah, which is crashing, and yeah, you don't have the watchdog enabled. Actually, on the flip side, sometimes it would, I mean, it would just deny list the incorrect query. So that query did nothing. The crash is due to something else, or even it's not a crash. Someone is just externally killing, terminating the process. That's another possible case where it's incorrectly deny listing something.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for that feedback, Stefano. I noted that into the minutes. And questions, issues, PRs. Constantine, I saw you join. Did you have a question or something you wanted to bring up? Nope, just here to check in.
Just listening in.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. Well, I see Guillaume Winter asked for some review of PRs. This was in the office hours channel. Thanks for adding it to the agenda, someone. As far as I can tell, this first PR, the main thing was just getting the CLA assigned. I'm not sure that we need to discuss. I think someone probably just needs to review. It looks like a pretty simple PR too. The second one, that's 8502. Anyone want to say anything about that before we mention 8520? Palindrome?
Yeah, interesting.
Okay, so 8520, Guillaume says maybe more controversial. I'm just pulling it up now to start contemplating it myself. So there's a blueprint issue associated with this. Okay, so it's about auto-updating behavior in homebrew packages, specifically casks.
Yeah, and also how to read correctly the version of that cask, because homebrew shows one version, but then the cask can auto-update, and so the version changes, but homebrew still shows the version when you installed the cask. So they do not correspond anymore, and Osquery currently would only show the homebrew cask version.
Oh, interesting.
And so, yeah, the PR adds, I haven't looked at the current iteration, but the idea was to look for, I think, the installation path, and then trying to get there the correct version. instead of reading it from under the path of homebrew, the homebrew cask.
Got it. Personally, I'm looking at the PR right now, and it looks too big to try to like grok the code fully while we're here. But in principle, I don't have concerns with it. It sounds like probably the main thing is it just needs to get looked at carefully again now that the CLA is signed. Do folks have other things that you'd want to bring up about this one?
I mean, I just briefly read the comment from Seth. I think he was concerned on. Actually, let me read, because either the amount, like the complexity or amount of steps required, maybe, I don't know. Complexity, again, I haven't looked at it too much, but can be multiple things, either performance or just that it might break more easily given that there are more steps. But yeah, I don't know. It's a best. I recall that when we discussed this in the previous office hours, it was a best effort anyway. Like, we didn't know that we, in theory, again, I should look at this iteration, but I recall by previous reasoning that it wasn't necessarily guaranteed that we would always be able to get that answer correctly, and it was fine. Always better to try to give a more precise answer than not.
I see the other thing, the last comment that was added in the PR here was wondering whether there should be a separate table for homebrew casks, which seems like possibly a good idea. But I guess I would want to take a closer look at this and see whether like it seems to make sense to me, and try to go forward with what we've got here. I'm also going to approve the CI to run. Thank you, whoever's updating the notes there.
I'm trying.
So maybe a question. There's an installed applications cask, or installed applications table. There's a homebrew packages table, and then a separate cask table would be somewhere in the middle of those.
macOS contains a built-in screen reader.
I mean, there would be some overlap there, because if you have an application through a cask, it might be in the applications directory, right?
Yes,
Are
if
the
it's a
laughing
dot
to
app.
be laughing to be clear was macOS contains a built-in screen reader.
Yeah.
Um,
We're all so familiar with it. Sorry about that background noise.
We'll go ahead.
Yeah, so if it's a dot app, it will still be in the applications apps table, because we use the macOS APIs to enumerate those. But I think Cask can also install just binaries that are not dot apps.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It could be command line apps or
Yeah,
executables
yeah.
that go in like the user local opt whatever.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there
Most-
will be some overlap, I think.
Someone was about to speak.
maybe even though there's there might be overlap, but you then draw the connection that a certain application, like where it is coming from. So
Oh yeah, totally. I'm not opposed to the
Oh.
table or at all. I'm just pointing out what people were asking.
yeah, I wasn't assuming. I was adding to it. Yep.
It doesn't seem necessary to me in this case. I mean, again, I haven't read the code, but it seems like they found a way to add the information without like totally changing the expected results of the table. Like people are I don't know what people are expecting, but Osquery has been returning tasks alongside regular formulas for a while now. It seems like we're clarifying the information. Like overall, I again, without having dug deeply into it, I think I endorse the idea of this PR here. Is there anyone who has like concerns about the idea of the PR?
I think it's just a matter of code review.
Okay, great.
Steph did ask for them to be separate PRs. I don't know if we want to ask for him to split it up first, or if we want to come review it first, or if splitting them made it more reviewable for us, or I mean,
As
if it was
far as I
just
could,
for the chain, just for the Git history purposes that we want it split.
I'm trying to understand. Like he says the two tables. I only see one table.
The comment after says there was an additional commit that has been removed. There is a comment.
It must be
okay.
changed.
Okay, it's been redressed already. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. Awesome. Eric, saw you joined. Any other questions, issues, PRs that you wanted to bring up?
Not at the moment.
Okay, cool. So getting down to the rest of the agenda, we already discussed what's down there in the agenda. So the 516.0 has been cut. We'll start testing it. We discussed that PR. And so going down to CVE security. So there's this open lib archive one. Do we need to do something to, we need to open a PR to ignore this? How do we do that? Can you remind me?
Yeah, it's just under the libraries third-party manifest.json file. You go there, find the relative library, and then there is the ignore. You
literally
CVE.
just add the CVE.
Yeah, you add the name of the.
I can do that.
Yeah, I think I forgot to do that when I answered.
Okay. Do you want to do that now? Should I do that?
I can do it.
You'll do it? Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Great. And let's see. So this lib archive. So you'll note in the PR like why this doesn't apply to us.
Sorry.
Will you note in the PR why this doesn't apply to us?
It's noted in the issue, but we also could Yeah, reference that issue.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
I will reference the issue. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you. Cool. Anything else that folks want to address while we're all here? All right. I think we'll wrap it up then and get some time back. If anyone is able to and has the rest of this hour blocked off, please take a look at some of the open PRs. We know that definitely at least Guillaume Winter's PRs need review, and there are some other PRs that are could use review. Oh, I would say again, Alessandro, and when you have a chance, if you would please take a look at my 8535, the one about the events issue. That would be awesome. It's already approved. I could have merged it. I guess I wish I had merged it before Seth cut the new release. And perhaps maybe should merge it and do a 5.16.1. But I think it's so core to Osquery logic. It'd be great to get another set of eyes on it, particularly you, Alessandro, since you know that code, or you once knew that code.
Yeah. So I didn't have much time to look into it. I saved sometime this week.
Thank you. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, everyone. See you all in 2 weeks.
All right. Hey, everybody.
Bye.